Our guest in studio is country music superstar Matt Stell, with hits such as, I wonder if I could sing them.
Sing them.
Well,
You won't.
I will, but I don't know. Well,
Will you do it justice?
I will, but I don't know them.
it's not even that I will not do them justice, first of all. But when I try to sing songs back to back, I can't, my melodies get all lost. Like
Same.
It gets all, no, that's not true.
Yeah, me too.
Like Prayed for You. Never single day, I never knew your name, but that's the name I called. I prayed for you. Words probably not accurate, but the melody was kind of there.
Yeah.
What are
All right.
what are the words?
Every single day before I knew your name, I couldn't see your face, but I prayed for you.
Yeah.
Your face.
Yeah.
Your face.
And then I've been down to London and South Beach, Mississippi, and all the way to Baton Beach.
London,
I've been
Mississippi. Yeah.
everywhere but on.
That's like reasonably.
How
You've
does that
heard
go?
the song before.
I know. No, I just sang. I'm not lyrics guy. I'm melody guy. So I don't know if any of the lyrics were right. Were any of those? What are the words?
That's pretty close.
I've
Some
been-
different cities.
I've been where though?
Savannah to Long Beach.
I said London to South Beach.
Yeah, I said you was like, I'm a little flattered that you, because I know you're not a words guy.
Yeah, yeah.
You're in the ballpark, though.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
And then how about That Ain't Me No More? I'm losing my melodies though on That Ain't Me No More. See, this is where I get in trouble. Do the melody of just
Take
That Ain't-
over.
That ain't me no more.
Get that. And then breaking it.
Yeah, it's because you didn't play this one enough. So
I don't play anything. Break it. I don't know. But Matt has a bunch of songs anyway. And Matt is also an athlete, former athlete, but still an athlete.
air quotes athlete.
And so I'm going to tell my favorite recent story of my two favorite Matts is that we all were at the Super Bowl. We weren't together, but we were together, but we were just together at different times. And roughly, it was like, hey, if we have time, we'll play golf. And Stell was like, I'll set it up. And turns out Matt Cassel and I had way more work than we thought we would. We were very busy. And Matt has a bunch of friends. I got two Matts. This is crazy. My mind's blown right now.
Yeah.
Stell will
let's
be
go.
fine.
Okay, Stell and
Cassel.
Cassel. And so Cassel's got all his NFL buddies he's hanging out with. Matt Stell's got all his music people he's hanging out with. I got food poisoning because my bathtub's full of like grime or something. So I'm doing nothing.
Knows that sandwich shop.
Oh, that too.
That got you. Yeah.
And so
That muffaletta.
they had set up just in case a tea time, and there ends up being a picture of a person that was working at the golf course, and it's like it was so cool to have Matt Cassel stop and play golf. The problem was it wasn't Matt
It was
Cassel,
me.
it was Matt Stell.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Did she think to you were Matt Cassel?
I don't know. Like, I don't know. They're super nice folks. They just probably looked at the tee sheet from what it was gonna be and just assumed that, like, I mean, if you squint from far away, you could mix the two of us up. If
100%.
you're
Both tall.
and
We got
also
some resemblance.
yeah,
for
and
sure.
they were immigrants. So they probably think white people look the same, which I get. We do kind of,
Yeah.
That's why I wear glasses. I'm so generic white guy that I put big glasses on. So people.
It was one of the best compliments of my life to be called Matt Cassel.
It was on the Facebook page. I laughed out loud for a day. I sent
Oh,
it to
dude,
everybody.
so funny.
Yeah, I was like, this,
I mean, I sent it to you first. Like,
Yeah.
How'd you play? But how'd you play? Like, what's their impressions?
I
of me?
shot
course record.
You shot.
You have the course
That's
record.
exactly right. I'm
Yeah.
like, yes.
You
best
shot
round of my life.
81. You shot
Hey, I'll
81 at
take that.
Latour Golf Club down in Lafourche Parish, Louisiana.
All day, every day, baby.
Yeah.
All day, every day.
That was a fun memory. And I know since I know Matt Stell pretty well, you have to tell him like we've never heard it. Your LeBron James story.
Oh man, yeah. So
So he's a basketball player, college basketball player.
Oh, I
Matt
know
Stell.
that.
Okay, yeah, okay.
yeah, I used to get a bucket, and I used to think that I was like, I had hoop dreams, man. You know, like everybody. And then, my senior year of high school, I went up to play with a team in Akron, Ohio, just to play one tournament with them, and we played against LeBron James, and we went like it's. AAU tournaments are round robin tournaments, so you play your first games and then you get seeded for the tournament. And we won the first game actually. LeBron had like probably 18 and 10 or whatever, but then we matched up again against him in the finals of that, and he had like 45 and 20,
45 and 20.
Something like it was like he had whatever numbers were available were the ones that he achieved. Like it was his usage was high and his efficiency was high, and yeah, man. Between him and then Joe Johnson, when I was after I was at college coming back and playing in a pro-am league, that's when I found my ceiling. Like I knew very soon. Like it was very apparent that my dreams were outpacing my ability.
You saw them, and that created your ceiling. They built your ceiling for you.
Yeah, I mean, and at the time with LeBron, you know, I'm coming in thinking, okay, I got some time, you know, to grow 3 inches and gain 40 pounds. But with Joe Johnson, Wavy Joe, one of my favorite athletes, one of the smoothest games that ever was, and he gave that smooth ass game to me in the Dunbar in Little Rock, and he just euthanized my dreams like a horse at the Kentucky Derby that breaks a leg. You know, he just comes out and absolutely just like is better at everything and bigger and faster, and it's just a level. And I was just like, okay, well, this is my dreams died today, but that's all right. I can play guitar.
So LeBron goes crazy. You played LeBron. The story gets a bit better. What's cool is you got to watch it, right?
Yeah. You competed against LeBron.
No,
James.
and you have that your whole life. You get to watch.
Yeah.
But
oh yeah, right. So I have like, you know, they taped all the games. So I had this tape and I brought it home, and like, you know, on the first game, the finals were taped, but like that first game that we played and like we won, and like I had like 6 point, whatever. But I had a nice little like layup in the lane where I kind of not so much got around it, but made a good cut and made a layup, and he like tried to block it, missed it, and I made the layup. And you know, it's like that was just still probably the highlight of my, you know, athletic career. But then I got back and I don't know what happened, but you know, at the time that was a VHS tape, and at the time, you know, somebody, I think my dad had just gotten like a Prime Star satellite or something, and like if they ordered a movie, they were recording that movie so that it could be enjoyed, and I think it got recorded over.
His entire game versus LeBron James got recorded over.
Yeah.
That movie.
That's old school VHS, dude, right?
Yeah.
You put it in
Funny.
the recorder, you're trying to record, you don't know what's on it, and all of a sudden you're like, wait, Dad, that's a memory that I wanted.
And what's wild is like Mom, it's probably been about a year ago, but she found the VHS. I have it at my house, and I went, you know, I was going to like, I want to see it, but like no one has a VCR. And I went.
Is that why you texted me about a VCR?
Yes. So because I have the tape, and like I can't I remember it being taped over, but I don't remember like verifying. I think maybe that was, I just want to see at least what movie. Pelican Brief.
You know, St. Elsewhere
That
is going
was
to pop
actually
up.
a pretty good movie.
Yeah, well, it's probably, you know, The Client or something. And yeah.
Stell texted me, do you know it has a VCR? I went, yeah, 1996.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't even know what he was asking about.
And he's very right, because I went to Best Buy, I went to Walmart, I went to the guy from Best Buy sent me to this video shop, and the guy's like, oh, we sold out of our last one. We knew next week. And then I walked next door to a pawn shop, and they happened to have a DVD VCR combo they wanted $40 for. I was like, like I looked online, you can't, they're expensive. And I bought it and I brought it home, and of course, like it doesn't work. So I have a VCR that doesn't work at the house. So I'm on this
tape
quest.
that you may or may not be playing LeBron James.
Yes,
on.
but it is the handwriting. My mom's handwriting. It says Matt versus LeBron on the sleeve and on the tape. And so, you know,
you'd think that she would look at that and be like, maybe we shouldn't record anything on that.
Yeah.
Maybe they got desperate. It was a really good show.
Yeah, maybe it was a season finale of Friends or something.
No, it's Bobby's Dancing with the Stars. They put it in.
Finale, yeah, gotta have it.
Guys, Bobby's on. Bobby's on.
How am I the victim? Why am I getting picked on here now? Hey, Cassel, do you have a high school tape? Did you make one to get recruited?
Oh, I had the most ghetto high school highlight film. It was before the era that they're in now, where everything's digitized. Even for my daughter, she's a freshman, and she plays in these club volleyball tournaments. They have this AI app that will literally put together your 10 highlight reels, and all you have to do is upload them if you wanted to. But back then it was VHS, and so you're going through this grainy film, you know, it's up on the old school, and I just went through the tape and put it together myself. Really had no music to it, So there was no music. It's just me out there.
Shooting from where is it? Because when we would shoot,
It's
the
up
top
in
of
the
the
press,
bleachers.
the top of the bleachers, where it's the old school tripod, big camera up there, and so you're seeing like little people out there. You can hardly even tell what type of athlete you are. So I sent it out and said, I hope for the best. But I got a little notoriety from it. They came out to the school, checked me out. So
who came?
Cool.
Who showed up? What's
Honestly, there was a ton of people back then. Coaches used to come to the facility every other week. From Miami to Cal to USC to UCLA to Tennessee to
see
Notre
you
Dame.
Specifically, or were there other
Yes.
players? Really?
Did you play on a really good team though? Was there?
No,
were there
we were okay, but we're in the middle of the pack in our conference. There was teams that were way better than we were. We only had 30 guys on the team or something like that, whereas some of these other schools 45, 50. We were LA Unified, but we weren't known as a football school. We were known as a baseball school. That's what I originally went to high school to play, was baseball. I wasn't even going to play football. Then I got the itch and said, I'm going to go out for the football team.
Then you figured out you could throw a ball over them mountains.
Then I could rip that thing.
If I ate filet mignon every night, eventually I get tired of filet mignon. Were so many coaches showing up that it wasn't a big deal anymore because a lot of the high-profile schools and coaches were showing up, and you're like, oh, cool, Tennessee's here this week.
It's just a wild experience because as a young kid, you think about getting recruited, but then all of a sudden your sophomore year hits and you have a good sophomore year, and then all of a sudden coach after coach starts showing up. It was always, for me, something that I got excited about because it means you're doing something right, and at the same time you didn't take it for granted. But sometimes when schools like Tennessee at the time or Miami or these national brands come to your school, you're like, wow. Where you're familiar with the Cal and the UCLA and some of these coaches, but then at the end of the day, when those teams start showing up, you're like, maybe there's something more to this recruiting thing because I'm getting recruited by national brands. So that's when you start to realize maybe I am okay and I might be able to play at the next level.
Let's do greatest stat line in a high school game that you can remember of your own. Matt Stell, you go first.
Can we just point out that the fact that I'm being talked to like I'm an athlete sitting next to him?
But
Stop it.
Dude, I sit with him every day. I do jack crap. So you're the middle. You're the one that brings us together. Me, jack crap. Him, pro athlete. You played college ball.
Yeah, all right.
So greatest high school stat line.
I think I had 40-something and several rebounds and several.
But no, don't be humble. I'm asking you for specific numbers.
I think I had like 40, 42, and like, I don't know, probably a lot of rebounds. Like, I don't know.
Over 10?
Yeah, for sure.
Any chance there was a triple double there?
No.
He's taking all the shots.
No
He can
assists.
pass to himself.
I went past it. No, I used to pass a little bit, but not that game. There's just not enough shots. But yeah, but it's a function of your competition too,
Did you ever feel the zone?
Yeah, I did. I felt in a game I lost. I fouled out of the state tournament in the first round, but I was hitting everything. I was hitting threes. I was like, yeah, I felt it. Like I could just kind of throw it up there and it was going in.
Greatest high school stat line that you can remember, Cassel?
Gosh, we played in the 3A championship at the Coliseum my junior year. Now 3A, that means it's kind of like what's the NIT division? You don't get into the big dog tournament, but you're playing probably more caliber teams.
It's not based on size?
It wasn't based on size. It was based on record. So like you say they take the top 8 teams around LA County that play in the upper 4A division, 3A divisions, like the step down because you didn't qualify. But I remember that game, I think I had to throw for around 300 yards with 3 TDs, but I also ran for like 70 yards with maybe a rushing touchdown.
Did you ever feel the zone?
Oh, yeah. And the crazy part about the zone, and you probably can speak to this, and Bobby, I know you can speak to this because you're always in the zone, man.
Exactly. See,
stays in the zone.
When you're like, I'm not athlete, I have to deal with this all the time. He'll talk about something, Bobby, for sure, wink, wink. Yeah. So this is our relationship.
Come on,
yeah. Go ahead.
But you're not thinking so much, right? It's just the game's coming to you, it slows down, and you're hitting everything. And there's games like that just happen. There's no rhyme or reason behind it because you kind of prepare the same way every single week, but it's just that day you're not missing. Whereas other games, you feel good, but it's just not falling. The zone is something special because if you can achieve it at any point, it's amazing. But when you're in it, it's like you got superpowers, right? You're Captain America out there.
My question with you guys, both being high-level athletes, I was not. Very mid, a high energy, big motor,
Technician.
Yeah.
Technician.
Scrappy.
And I was fine, very scrappy. So probably my best game was like 80 yards and a touchdown, like 4 catches, 80 yards and a touchdown. But that's
a big stat line.
Okay. Yeah. Not okay. I feel like Matt did just a minute ago, and you were like,
Yeah.
But okay.
Then you think about who you were playing against, who was guarding you, and you're
Yes.
like, was it that? Yeah.
So that was like my best game in high school, probably. Now, but my zone would be when in a creative space, like if I'm doing stand up and it is so effortless and everything feels so right that as soon as I start to question it, I start to come out of it. Now, I wonder if athletically that feels that. When you're in it, do you acknowledge it and go, I'm freaking on? Or are you in it and you try not to even think about it? Like ball players, if someone's throwing a no-hitter, they're not messing with the pitcher. Because if I'm on, god dang, I'm running from thinking about feeling how perfect it is right now. Matt Stell.
I mean,
Even as a performer, as a singer.
I would honestly say, like, I felt that more, even not so much as like the performance side, but like the days that I go in and I feel like I really wrote a good job, or we wrote a cool song, and you're chasing it down and you're trying not to, like, my thing is you obviously have to think, but I try to not to do the meta thinking. Like, I try not to think about the situation like I'm looking, you know what I mean? Like, that perspective to me can jar it out of there a little bit.
Thinking about the actual situation. Not
if you start thinking this is awesome instead of
Yes.
which is like a level removed from you in the room, then I find that to be distracting. But if I can just stay connected with the, it's less sports now, but if I can stay connected, with the idea of the song and in the moment, I mean, it's the same things you talk about. But yeah, I know that feeling.
when it's pure and you're feeling it, Cassel, do you realize it's pure and you're feeling it? It's like, I'm on, so let me just go. Or do you try not to think and just go?
You try not to think and just go. And that's why I'm saying when you're in the zone for a complete game, particularly when you're competing in sports, or just like what you guys are saying, you're in front of an audience and the whole show goes off and you go, wow, I was in the zone the entire time. Because I've been in those games, particularly the ebbs and flows of any situation where you have a tremendous first half and then your second half, you shit the bed. And you go out and go, wait, I was in the zone. Everything was going great. And so you've been through both circumstances. But when you're in the zone and you're feeling it, I just try to ride that as much as possible because you're ultra focused. And then your confidence just goes through the roof every single series. But so many times there's a small misstep here or there that just changes the momentum of the game that you always have to be prepared to deal with the adversity.
Do you believe in momentum?
Hell yeah. 100%. I was always a big guy of when we start a game and we start early, get me some easy completions. Let me just get into the rhythm of the game. Because if you get that confidence early and you hit a few throws, now all of a sudden you feel that momentum and you feel it throughout the entire chemistry of the team.
Let's talk about the opposite, where everything should be going fine, but nothing is going right. And I've had those nights where there's no reason that I should feel this clunky or awkward or I'm stumbling over words, but man, everything is going wrong. I'm not sick. I don't have any drama happening because that can affect us in all performance, but nothing is going right. It's like the anti-zone. I've been there and trying to get out of the anti-zones. The same way if I think about it, I don't get out of it. Much like if I think about it, I do fall out of it on the other side. Cassel, ever have for no reason at all, you just can't stop sucking?
100%. And it's
can we get a rephrase?
No,
Can we get a rephrase?
We cannot.
That would be pretty accurate.
We keep our
Like,
phrases, yes.
Yes. I mean, there's a game we played the Patriots. I was with the Vikings, and, I wanted, obviously, to have a great performance. We go out there, go right down the field. Had a good start to the game. Next thing I know, it was 4 interceptions later, and they boat raced us, and I just go, what the hell
But
just
no elbow
happened?
problem, nothing home.
No elbow problem. I felt confident about the game plan, everything, and it's just one of those days where I'd throw a pass, one would get tipped at the line of scrimmage, and it falls right to here. You make a bad decision, Revis picks it off. Next one, the guy's running in cut, he fades back, another intercept. It was just one of those days, and like you said, the more you think about it, I think you harp on the bad, and you now starting to play scared. The only way to come out of those situations are just have a I used to call it the F it mentality. Like what else can happen today? Like you got to go out there and keep slinging it because the guys feel it in the huddle too. You got to give a kind of that false bravado at times, make them say, hey, Cassel's not disturbed by it. We got to keep rolling. Even though I know in the back of my mind, I'm letting these guys down. It's not a good day, but I've still got to go out there, try to get us back on course.
What about doing a live show, no reason for you to suck? You ever have a bad night where you're like, why do I suck tonight?
100%. I do find though that typically, not always, but typically my worst is better than I think and my best is not as good as I think. And so there's always some solace in that a little bit, because I can and honestly sometimes, like in a golf swing, they say feel isn't real. That's why that's why they tell you to do stuff that doesn't sound like it would be right because it's not what you're doing, it's what you're feeling. And I find that that is also the case when I'm, like on stage or something like that, is I can't always trust how it felt because I can listen to it back. We typically have a board mix. I don't listen to them very much, but, we will but I take solace in that fact sometimes when things aren't going well, that it's like, well, I put in all this work so that I'm sort of in this range, right? As I use hand gestures on a podcast, but I'm somewhere between a 6.5 and an 8.5 all the time, and so the worst isn't as bad as it seems. The best isn't maybe as good as it seems, but yeah.
Are you a self-critical guy? Like you criticize yourself a little bit, or would you say you're more of a self-confidence guy? And those bad days you can put it behind you.
I feel like I'm fairly on it. Like I don't, my wife probably hears it more and she would probably say I'm pretty negative on myself, but like I know when I feel like I did a good job. Now it just doesn't happen that much, I don't think I did a bad job a lot, like writing a song, playing a show, but I know what a good job feels like, and I just kind of chase that, I kind of have to let that be my North Star, even though it's not an objective thing that is my best or whatever, but I just kind of know. But I'm very critical, but I try, to your point, I try to go out of my way to think something positive when I feel like something good happens. Like if I write a good song, if I play a good job, whatever, I try to, in my mind, say something positive to myself so it's not always negative.
What are you?
That was the hardest thing for me is I always felt when, like, you went out and kicked ass during the game or something like that, I always had that mentality of, well, that's my job. That's what I'm supposed to do, rather than really acknowledging the fact that I crushed today. And so I was always one of those guys that you nitpick at little stuff. Where can I get better? Or when things don't go well, you're really self-critical. You're thinking, gosh, I could have played so much better. And you harp on the things that you made mistakes on or the bad throw, rather than you could go 18 for 22 in a game, have a bunch of really good throws, but it's that one ball that got interception that was the outcome of the game. So I would say I'm more self-critical than I am of always from a positive nature. And I think it's the nature also of the business of every time you play in a game, what do? They don't go in there and praise you for the good plays. What they do is they go in and look at your mistakes, correct them, put them up on the big board in front of the team, in your quarterback room, and you harp on the little details and the little mistakes that really probably didn't make the major difference in the play. And so I think you just train yourself, okay, well, you're searching for perfection, which you're never going to achieve, but you try to be the best that you can be and try to create it every single time you go out in the field.
Did you have to learn how to be coached?
Yes, I was not always one of those guys that took coaching well at times, especially if personality-wise, right? Certain personalities I got along with really well. And then there's other ones that became more combative than anything else. And what you have to learn is you have to be adaptable, right? Everybody's going to do it a little bit different. You got to find a way to not only accept the coaching, but also learn how to communicate best with that person. It might be if you have a thought, and this is one of those coaches that, hey, look, I'm this smart with a big circle and you're this smart with the little dot in the middle, that you had to try to make it their idea. But if you try to make it their idea, they're more receptive to implementing it into a game plan. Whereas if I just went and said, hey, I think we need to put this play, they'd be like, no, we're not doing that. We've got our foundation. We know what we're going to do.
with different head coaches and different styles, and the parallels between athletes and musicians are it's very similar, because Matt, you have people telling you what songs are good or what songs aren't.
Mm-hmm.
As you had coaches telling you what calls, what audibles are good, what aren't, why you should think this way and that way. Were there people that you had to listen to that you knew they did not know near as much as you, but you had to play the game and act like, okay, I'm listening, but really you weren't?
100%. But you also have to be somebody that is going to take the coaching regardless of whether or not you agree with it, and somehow find a way to maneuver through the minutia and all the stuff that they're saying and get your point across. Because at the end of the day, especially for any you guys know as a performer or a quarterback, in that you're the one out there on the field performing. You're the one that's got to make the calls. You also are the one that's going to be judged at the end of the day. The coaches are sitting in the background. They've put together a game plan. But if you don't like a play that somebody put in, I will be very open about, hey, coach, I'm not comfortable with this. I don't know if I can make it go. And it's not because I hate the fact that he installed it. It's just like, I'm more confident with something that we've practiced during the week, we've repped, and now I can go out there and execute at a high level. Call this play twice, I don't care. But there's always that happy medium of not pissing people off. But at the end of the day, you're the guy that's got to go out there and pull the trigger.
What about songs with you? Like, you ever you're the same, you got a guy, an executive's like, I don't think this is a good song, or I think this is a good song, and you feel the opposite?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. And I think, I mean, it's my opinion that I don't like to judge or be judged all that much on outcomes. I mean, that's what people do, but it's really the process that I'm more concerned with that's going to lead to good outcomes, right? So what I mean by that is I want to know that we're making decisions based on, you know, everyone being incentivized the right way, for one thing. Like, you know, if everyone eats or doesn't based on the success of a song, if everybody has skin in the game, you know, that it's my like label, management, publishing, even band, whatever. If we're incentivized the right way, if we have a system that does that, which is just basically, you know, for me it's been, does the song do well or do not? Then at least the decision makers in the room are incentivized for that to work and not for them to be right, let's say. Because it's the real key difference to me between sports and music, pop music like we make, you know, like popular music, like whatever the genre is, but is sports is much more objective. At the end of 60 minutes, there is a final score, you know, unless you go over an overtime, whatever, but you get my point. Music is so much more, you're targeting like kind of a moving target that if you chase too much, it doesn't work out, and you're trying to get ahead of it a little bit. It's almost like leading a skeet when you're shooting a gun, kind of, but it's the process and not so much the outcome. So if we made a good decision with the process, you got to believe that over time those outcomes are going to be more than they would if you hit the lottery, because that happens in our business a lot.
I'm fascinated with you guys' parallels. And one more parallel. Matt, your song "Pray for You" was a monster. It was a wedding song. It was a number 1 song. You've put up multiple versions because it was so big. Like, I don't know, like you like played one with this 5 string instead of 6. You sang it with, I don't know, but it got so big that you put out all these different versions.
It's like Oreos where they change the stuffing in it.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. And
Same
so
concept, but
great concept.
Everybody wants that from you, and you've done a lot in your career, but everybody wants that because that was your biggest thing. And so it's always like pray for you. And with Cassel, you've done so much and played with different teams and had success at places, but it's probably always like, hey, when Brady got hurt,
yeah,
I would assume that as grateful as both of you are for the opportunities that you were given, that sometimes you're like, I got to tell this friggin' story again. Any truth to that, Cassel?
You're saying that when people say that, do I get annoyed?
Not annoyed, because I think you understand.
Do you think, is that one thing being such a dominant part of the narrative of you outside looking in, you knowing that your life is much more complex and dynamic?
Right.
What is that like? Is that what you're asking?
You know you're going to get asked every single time when you step in. You know it.
Yeah, I'm known as a Patriot more than anything else that I did in my career. And I played 14 years, and it was probably based on the simple fact that it was such a polarizing time because Tom Brady won the MVP the year before. We were in the Super Bowl. First game out of the year, guy that hadn't started since high school. And so everybody looked at that season, particularly Patriot fans, but fans alike, and said, what is this Slappy going to do? And to go out and win 11 games and go 11-5, it was a defining moment, not only for me in my career, but in my life. It set me up to go on and achieve other things as well. And I went to the Kansas City Chiefs. I went to the Pro Bowl in 2010. Nobody even knows that, I don't think, but that's fine with me because I know what I was able to do, especially coming with the story that I had, not ever starting a game in high school, and then just wanting to get my foot in the door, getting that opportunity the final year of my contract, which if I don't play that year, let's be honest, guys, I didn't have the career that I had at all. I might maybe get on to another team as a practice squad, but it set everything else up in motion. So I'm totally fine when people say that because it was a good time in my life and it was something that was an opportunity in front of me. It was given to me, and it's whether or not you capitalize on it, and I was able to capitalize on it, and the rest is history.
Did you have a process, though, where for a while you're like, God, I wish people would ask me about something else, but now with time, you can appreciate what it is?
I can. I think it was more so when I was still playing in the league and for different organizations when you're starting for a different organization, but everybody still wanted to go back, talk about that season. Because, again, I know it's an interesting story. I think that was probably more annoying than let's talk about what we're doing now. But as you remove yourself from the game now, it's my 5th year out. Talking about it is totally acceptable to me, and I embrace it, actually. It's a lot of fun to talk about.
And you are going to talk about it every time you do a new interview.
100%.
Okay, Matt Stell, you got this massive song. You've got other it's not your only number one, but this song is your monster.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Well, it definitely defines you, and I think in entertainment, especially in music and in country music, right? The brand, quote unquote, ends up being you're the protagonist in the song, So I'm connected with that song, not as necessarily I wrote that song about one of my co-writers meeting her husband like the day before, right? I'm telling that story. That's how I view the song. Like I'm because that's my favorite kind of music is like, storytelling stuff or whatever. Like, Kenny Rogers didn't meet a hobo in a train car that taught him how to play poker, right? Like that's a character in the same way that person in the character or that person in my song is not so much me, but I love the song. I mean, yeah, you got to
play it though. It's like,
I'm proud to play it every night though. Like I worked all I ever wanted to do was for anyone to give a shit about a song I wrote. And I thought it would be about different stuff than that I didn't think that would be the song that did it, but it did it. And now that I look back on it, and now that I'm married now, and now that I'm in a place in my life where there's like a person that I care the most about, it is like that song has been refreshed to me, and like I know how big a deal it is for people to include that song in a wedding or in an anniversary, or to say that that's the song that matters to them. Like it's even more of like a compliment. Like I've come more than full circle on that. Yeah, I didn't think I'd be the wedding song guy, but
Hey. It's a good thing to have. I mean,
yeah. Hey,
the wedding song guy, give it to me every time. There's a lot of weddings.
There's a lot
year.
of people getting married. People get married, and sometimes they get married a lot. There's more marriages than couples sometimes.
You drink coffee over there, Cassel, or no?
No, I don't have a coffee. I already had 2 coffees. Stell's drinking coffee.
I drink that much coffee every day of a single origin bean of somewhere in a subtropical climate in a pour over that I grind and make every day like a barista in my house.
I hate coffee.
Yeah, well.
Did you ever do it with a little bit of creamer in there?
I'll
tell you what, it's fantastic.
I never even tasted coffee until I did Dancing with the Stars, but because I was doing radio show, training, traveling, doing stand-up, and I was like, I'm about to die. And so I really wanted crystal meth. Couldn't find it. So
Bro, we're from Arkansas. What do you mean?
I said Crystal, and I was in LA. I couldn't get to.
Oh.
I couldn't get.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like our kind's different. That's like Sudafed. Yeah, we have Sudafed meth where we're from. I tried coffee, and I was in my 30s forever. Awful. The fact that you got it, I can't acquire that taste.
I love it. It's the reason I want tomorrow to happen.
Yeah, I'm really, I love coffee, and it could be the worst cup of coffee. I could go into like a local gas station and just be like, this has been here for 24 hours. I'm still going to drink the hell out of it.
Dude, I'm such a I'm like Bobby with clothes about coffee. Like I am snooty, and I am.
Where did that come from? What are you talking about?
I am highbrow. I am exquisite.
I get less and less offended. But
I am luxurious about my coffee, and I don't put anything in it. It's just about the bean and where it's from.
You research this, I'm guessing. You dive deep in the woods.
There's coffee shops within, like you could throw a football and hit some of my favorite coffee shops here, and they just source these beans from all over the world. And they have different flavor notes. Like, you ever hear people that are douches about wine?
Oh yeah,
and the flavor notes.
The wine
It's the same. I'm a coffee douche.
Oh, you know what I am? I'm a tartare douche. I just found out.
Ooh.
You ever had like some really good beef tartare? They make it in front of you,
100%.
and they put like a little egg. Then you taste it. I never had alcohol, so I don't know what wine tastes like. So I never got to do the cool thing where it's like, that's good. But I had some tartare made, and they do it in front of you, and they give you a little spoon, and they're like, is this to your liking? And I'm like, yeah, that'll do. I finally got to do that, and it was awesome.
That'll do.
Yes, it was
That'll
awesome.
do, pig.
Matt Stell, you playing shows?
Yeah, I got to go to Florida in the morning.
Well, not like today. Like this is where I go. Hey, promote your.
Whatever. Like, I don't know, man. I got music everywhere. You can find me everywhere, and I'm hilarious on social media. So enjoy that, audience.
Instagram at Matt Stell, on TikTok at Matt Stell Music.
Yeah.
Did you know he has he studied religion? Like he's a master's. He got like he was gonna go be a doctor. Decided to do music instead.
I can see that it's a brilliant mind in there. There's no doubt about it.
You can
It's
see
just a
that?
caffeinated mind.
When
That's all it is.
you studied religion, what was it religious history?
What's the ones you
Was
didn't
it,
like?
Yeah, what didn't you like? Yeah, let's go there. Let's get
All right,
let's get edgy here.
Religion's ranked. Coming next. We'll be right
Top 5
back.
religions. What did you study?
I majored in philosophy and religion, my undergraduate. I was interested in not so much answering questions, but I didn't know this at the time, but I basically have a degree in critical thinking, right? And I come from a Christian evangelical background, and I was interested in those questions and where those kinds of things come from, and I learned a whole lot, changed my perspective a whole lot when I encountered not even new ideas. I just encountered different ideas. But really, I have a degree, I suppose, in critical thinking, my undergraduate, and then my master's is somewhat similar. It's sort of in rhetoric and power struggles between groups.
I mean, it looks dumb as a
Wow.
rock, smart as could be.
I mean, smart as can be.
Yeah.
It's
I
not.
mean, I have a degree in critical thinking. Mine was just in communications, and I don't know what I really
That's what my
learned.
master's is in, is communication.
Matt Stell, thank you very much for coming by.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Appreciate it. You guys.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah,
Why did you invite my wife and I to play pickleball, and then we couldn't make it and haven't since, and it's been beautiful? Is it because she is an unbelievable pickleball player and would just beat the dust out of you and us? Is that it?
Great question. And I have a great answer for that. So I invited you and your wife to play, and I said, hey, come over. We're playing. And my phone died.
Oh,
My
that
phone
is
died.
a great excuse. He turned it off. He's like, he's
Man,
not coming.
phones used to
lit-
die a lot when I was dating.
It literally died. And I was like, I told George Burge, both of our mutual friend, I was like, inviting Matt, but I haven't heard anything back. And I was like, oh, my phone died. And so as soon as it came on, I was like, yeah, I'll be over. And I was like, oh God, that's like 45 minutes ago. And so on me, but then we left the country. We've been gone. And you had the flu. Yeah, true or false?
It's true.
Yeah. So you had the flu until we left the country.
So you're saying this is just a timing issue, and it's
I'm
not. I shouldn't read
saying
anything
I'm
more.
proving it with data.
Okay,
Mr.
I'm
Critical
I'm a
Thinking.
data-driven
Yes.
guy. I'm a
Yes.
slave to data.
Yeah. So if we're looking at game tape
Yes.
here, that's exactly what happened. And
Glad I asked.
yes, Cassel's the pickleball player.
I mean, pretty strong bullet points right there.
Yeah, I got him.
My wife is the best ping pong. I cannot score 15 points on my wife playing ping pong, and I'm not terrible. But in my defense, she grew up with a carpeted basement, so tells you all you need to know.
I would choose to rephrase that different, but we're not rephrasing things different on the show, are we?
Let it stand.
Yeah, we're just gonna let it
roll.
stay. Yeah, we're gonna let it stay there.
Shag carpet, baby.
At Matt Stell Music on TikTok. All right, thanks, guys. That's funny. Thanks, guys. That was awesome. Here's the game.
Okay.
If we had to equate NFL players with celebrities, you would compare the current player with a current pop culture figure. I'd like to hear some. For example, and I have a few of these, I will go Patrick Mahomes and Drake. That is my parallel, and here's why. One, they win.
All they do is win.
Except recently.
Except recently.
See?
Yeah, that's
See I'm
true.
going? Like they
Okay.
win constantly
Got it.
except recently.
Okay.
Polarizing because of how much they win. They're constantly in the GOAT combos, even though they're not the actual GOAT yet.
Ooh, very strong bullet points
So
there.
I would go Drake and Patrick Mahomes. You're up.
All right. Well, you mentioned Drake. I'm going to have to go in that same realm. I'm going to go Kendrick Lamar and Jalen Hurts. Well, why? They both just were at the Super Bowl and performed at the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts slayed the dragon, so to speak.
Oh, good one.
Beat his biggest rival.
Good one.
And Kendrick Lamar absolutely served up
Good one.
some humble pie to Drake at the Super Bowl.
He won.
Even if a lawsuit might come along, who cares? That was amazing.
He won
I
the whole
loved it.
beef.
You won it just right there. I mean, he performed in front of how many millions of people and just completely had Serena Williams up there crip walking. It was amazing.
This isn't even a competition, but you won round one. Josh Allen, Chris Pratt. Lovable,
Great.
athletic,
Yes.
thick.
Very thick.
Doesn't always get the critical respect that they deserve because of their lovable thickness, but people love them. But both of them.
Of course.
I would go Josh Allen, Chris Pratt.
I think that's a fantastic celebrity NFL player comparison. Let's go with my boy Matt Stafford. And I'm going to go with Matt Stafford and Brad Pitt. Matt Stafford is now considered one of the elders of the NFL community. Brad Pitt, obviously, has been around for a really long time, been very successful. He's considered a little bit older of an actor, but guess what? They're still getting it done. They're still making hits. They're still dominating their profession.
That's a good one.
And they're a little bit older, but they still got it. That's all I got to say. They still got it. When you're older as a male and somebody, like a lady comes up and says something to you and it's like, gosh, that made me feel good. I still got it.
That's a good one.
They still got it.
Derrick Henry,
Oh, who are you going to compare to Derrick Henry?
Jason Momoa.
Oh, I like that.
Absolute tanks of
Aquaman.
humans. Both superheroes.
Yes.
Look great in whatever superhero or football costume uniform they're wearing. I'm going Derrick Henry, Jason Momoa.
I love that. I love that. And they both have the long hair. I mean, it all works. All right, I'm going to go, let's see, Robert Downey Jr. and Kyle Shanahan.
Oh, a coach. Nice.
I went Kyle Shanahan because guess what? They're all really well respected in their profession, thought of as one of the top in their profession, but neither one of them have won the big award. Shanahan's never won a Super Bowl. Robert Downey Jr. has never won an Oscar.
That's a great one. I didn't even think to go coach.
Well, I thought coaches sometimes might be a little bit easier, don't you think? I mean,
I obviously didn't. Again, I didn't think coach. That was really good.
Yeah.
I'm going to go retired Tom Brady.
Can I guess who you're going to go with?
Yeah.
Taylor Swift.
George Clooney.
Oh, darn it.
Tom Brady, George Clooney. Ageless.
Okay.
Polished.
Mm.
Freaking iconic. Walks into any room and it's just like, that's MFing George Clooney or MFing Tom Brady.
That's that dude. I love it. That actually is a beautiful comparison as well. I went Taylor Swift because they're both polarizing figures. You either love them or hate them. They've got their little group. Like Brady's got Boston and whoever else really likes him. And then Taylor Swift has her Swifties. But other than those people, there's a lot of people that just dislike him, want to see him fail. That's why I said
And
that.
a lot of times out of jealousy. Just
out of sheer jealousy.
jealousy.
Because they've been successful. They're good at everything that they do. There's nothing that you can sit there and go, oh, God, I wish I didn't do that.
How many more you got?
Let's see. How about Timothy Chalamet?
Oh, I got a Chalamet one too.
Do you?
Yours is going to be better though. I stretched with mine.
Well, I just kind of went him with, say, a Brock Purdy.
That's who I have.
Do you?
Swear to God.
Come on.
I
See,
swear to
great minds think alike.
Look,
You're the very best friend that
what
anybody's
does that,
ever
what
had.
does that say? Brock Purdy equals Timothy Chalamet. Go ahead.
Small frame.
You go first. Go ahead first.
Small frame.
Yeah.
Kind of up and coming. Both have proven themselves in some way, but everybody, they're still always going to be their doubters because they kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, and I have two with Timothy Chalamet and Brock Purdy. Constantly, people are telling you why they're not the person.
Exactly.
Like, that's it. Not that good. Oh, he's too skinny. I'm talking about Chalamet. Like, he can't be in action. He does Dune, too. He's freaking awesome. Brock Purdy. Yeah, I had that one. Okay. Let me hit you with another one here. Some of mine are terrible. How about Aaron Rodgers, Joaquin Phoenix?
I like that one.
Weird.
Very weird, but both of them are very weird.
Mysterious. Genius level like talent.
Right.
One on the field, one acting. Both off the grid type people, but undeniable when locked in.
Yes.
Like the Joker.
Oh, the method acting. It's incredible.
Aaron Rodgers slicing defenses up like when he's healthy and on.
Oh, he's methodical.
Nothing like it.
Yeah. So much fun to watch.
Let's
I
go,
love that.
Let's go one more each if you have one more.
I've got, let's do Kanye West
Oh, boy.
and Tyreek Hill.
Oh, boy.
Because guess what? They beat to their own drum. They don't give a crap what other people think.
They beat to their own drum. That would be right because I think the term is drum to their own beat.
Yeah, well.
But they do beat to their own drum.
I'm just coming up with something new.
No,
just like,
no, exactly.
Look, maybe it's me and Kanye then, okay? Because I say stuff, whatever I want, and I don't give a crap what anybody else thinks, okay? That's where I'm at right now. And I just think that those two, they're highly successful. They go out, they perform, but it's done in a way that it's always going to be their way.
I'll give you one more.
Okay. You didn't like that one as much. I can feel it in your bones.
No,
In your Bobby bones. I can feel it in your Bobby bones.
I do. They do drum to their own beat and beat their own drum or whatever you said. What if I did like The Rock and Matt Cassel? Except I could find no
there's
parallels.
no comparison.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah, he's a better
parallels.
entertainer. He's more fit.
Okay. Julian Edelman and Mark Wahlberg.
I could see that.
Boston, scrappy as crap.
I mean, Julian's from California.
But you think of him as a Patriot.
That's true.
Did,
I'm just kidding.
did I pee in a single Cheerio you had? When you think of Edelman, you think of the freaking Patriots.
You think of Boston.
Yes. Short. I mean, because
Yes, they are.
Wahlberg is not a tall guy.
No, he's not.
Had to figure it out differently.
Mm-hmm.
Like they both had to come up and figure it out a bit differently, non-traditionally, and just kind of won't be ignored type guys.
Well, you crushed that one because I'd 100% agree with that. Edelman played quarterback in college.
Yeah.
Do you know that?
Mm-hmm. At Yellow.
Kent State.
Kent State, thank you.
Kent State. And then Wahlberg was Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. I mean, how
Yeah, he was.
How good was
but
that,
his
though?
brother was New Kids on the Block.
I know. I used to love New Kids on the Block.
I secretly did, but not publicly.
No,
not
I
outwardly.
publicly showed them love everywhere I went. I think I even did a lip sync to them when I was in grade school. Crushed all 4 of them or 5 of them.
Do you know which song?
Um,
Please don't go, girl.
no, it
Step
wasn't that one.
by step. Ooh, baby. Gonna get to
with
you,
you,
girl.
girl.
Doom, ba-doom, ba-doom, ba-doom. Step 1.
So good.
Yeah, it was good.